Marcel, the head of Confrérie of Cabrières.
Huh? What confrérie? Never heard of them in my life.
I've heard of them, but weren't they Spina di... Rosula's sister organization?
Oh, is this going to be a friends to enemies type situation?
Please let me remind you, Miss Navia, that charging someone is an incredibly serious matter. Committing to the charge also means taking on the legal responsibilities associated with it. And if the charge fails, depending on the circumstances, you may also be charged with the crime of making a false accusation. Knowing this, do you still wish to charge this man?
Yes, I do.
In that case, I declare the charge to be valid. Miss Navia and attorneys, please, members of the guards, please contact Mr. Marcel right away so that he may stand trial. Mr. Marcel, you will not...
Apologies. It all just happened. I think an attorney won't be necessary.
Very well. In that case, since both sides have...
I would like to take everyone back to 3 years ago. Only through elucidating what really happened in that case can we connect all the dots for the serial disappearances.
Navia, do you really think? Come on. Why would I do that? Callus, if that's enough to make me a suspect, wouldn't that make everyone at that bank...
I think there's no point in getting into the specifics right now. The audience doesn't...
Exactly correct, Your Honor. I must refresh everyone's memory about that case before I can explain my charge and reasoning.
I see. In which case, I will recount the findings about that case as originally recorded by Maison Gardiennage. On the day of the murder, Spina di Rosula hosted a large banquet in a countryside estate owned by the Confrérie of Cabrières. During the banquet, all attending guests heard 2 gunshots from the courtyard. When the guests arrived at the scene, they found the primary suspect, Callus, holding a gun, while his acquaintance, Jacques, lay dead from a gunshot wound. The guards' investigation did not recover any other firearms from the scene. As a result, they concluded that the suspect's first shot must have missed, while the second must have taken Jacques' life. The suspect did not dispute this conclusion, and also declined to defend himself in court. Instead, he chose to prove his innocence through a duel. Callus was defeated by champion duelist Clarande in the ensuing duel. These are the known facts.
The one with the motive to kill was Jacques, not my father. And even so, in truth, the third person shot Jacques first, and was shot in turn by my father when my father seized the gun from him. After that, the true culprit turned the third person into water, erasing all traces of him from the scene. Thank you for the summary, Your Honor. Of course, the guard's conclusion appeared quite sensible to us at the time. However, we should revisit the case now that we've gained new information about the abilities of water from the primordial sea. A pile of clothing was found at the scene. The guards once believed they were used by Jacques as a costume to disguise himself. But now, it is clear that the clothes were proof that there was a third person at the scene, and that they were turned into water after committing the murder. Since it was raining that day, the culprit was confident that they could use the rain to wash away all traces of their dissolved accomplice. this assassin first shot Jacques, then turned to shoot Callus, only for Callus to wrestle the gun from him and kill him instead. The testimony of the victim, however, in the end, he reconsidered, and instead shared everything with Callus, hoping to seek the latter's protection. Unfortunately for Jacques, the true culprit had already considered this possibility, and had sent out another assassin. Realizing this, the true culprit caused the hired assassin to dissolve into water, leading everyone to believe Callus was responsible for Jacques' murder. This is the true...
So that's what happened. Wait, you're telling me something as dangerous as water from the primordial sea has been used for all these years?
What a great theory. It also explains Callus's and Jacques' respective motives. I guess they didn't shoot each other after all.
Mr. Marcel, you are the one being charged with the crime.
But I think I agree with everything Navia just said. In fact, there was nothing in her speech that directly implicated me.
Then, may I ask some questions? 1. Do you have the evidence to...
I'm afraid... I may not have the evidence with me, but I know where I could go to collect it. If we look, we should be able to find a match. Considering the serial disappearances case, the guards probably kept careful records of all missing persons from around that time, regardless of age.
That makes sense to me. Monsieur Neuvillette, I would...
Why do I feel like...
Maybe she's scared of embarrassing herself again?
Alternatively, she's become more diligent after charging an innocent citizen.
My second question has to do with the ensuing duel. Then why didn't Mr. Callus explain himself in court? If he had testified that a person had been dissolved, he could have at least mounted a defense.
I thought about this too, and the answer is actually pretty simple. He felt there were things that were more important to him. The dissolving power of water from the primordial sea is an important secret for the true culprit of the serial disappearance. My father could have exposed it for all to see, but he chose. At that time, Spina di Rosula was in dire straits, and his reputation had already been shattered. He had no guarantee that going forward with the truth would allow the culprit. What was certain, however, was that it would paint a gigantic target on my back.
Boss once told me that Demoiselle had already been selected as the next...
What? If the secret had gotten out, the culprit would have fought an all-out war with Espina right there and then. I wouldn't have been the only one in danger. Of course, the guards might eventually figure out the truth of the matter and determine that we were in the right. But what good would that do? How can a hollow verdict protect anyone? Had this opera house ever given my father any kind of confidence in its brand of justice, Spina di Rosula would have had no reason to exist. But by staying silent, we retained the ability to deter our opponents and continue the stalemate. I was able to become Spina di Rosula's president, which made me harder to target, as well as giving me more time to grow and learn. And once I have figured out the truth and stepped up to the challenge, I will do what this opera house cannot and restore my father's truth and honor back to him.
So, you mean to say, your father intended to...
That's right.
Do you have any proof?
Of course. All you need is to... I don't need your apology, your guilt, or your support. But since he entrusted his will to you, Clarand...
So, during the duel, did you believe...
Yes. As a champion duelist, I've fought many battles and taken a countless number of dishonored lives in my line of work. I've seen all kinds of people give their all for the faintest hope to continue living. Just one look and I can tell if a duelist is hoping to live or if they're looking to die. I hereby swear on my name and honor as a champion duelist that Mr. Callus never intended to leave the ring alive.
Since that's your testimony, I have no more...
I concur. However, Miss Navia, you still have not...
Right? What she said was fascinating.
Wait, weren't they just talking about the serial
Of course, Your Honor. The two cases are in my father's case, the culprit intended to kill both Jacques and Callus. As a result, they planned to act after hearing 2 gunshots. And at the end of Linny's trial, the culprit also only dissolved the victim in front of everyone because they realized they were at risk of being identified. The culprit could only time their actions so precise. Coincidentally, Marcel attended both the banquets.
So that's why you suspected me. Even after hearing your reason, I'm used to it, though. You've always been an impulsive and sentimental child, Navia. It's one of your most endearing traits.
No need to appeal to pathos.
I won't try to refute your points one by one, but even if everything you just said was true, can you prove that I was the only person present at both events? On top of that, does a person have to be physically present to control...
Know what she can say to that.
I know that even with that, you might still think you can reduce the list of suspects with some further investigations, until, alas, who won't feel at least a little hurt by an accusation of murder from a girl? But if I were to dismiss this completely, you'd also think I'm not being... Do you know what the biggest flaw in your reasoning is?
I suppose you're gonna tell me anyways.
It's timing again. I'm a businessman by trade. From that standpoint, there's no reason for me to kidnap young women. It's a high-risk action with nothing to gain. In addition, I left my home in Snezhnaya when I was young to come to Poisson and work in some trade. My business only thrived when I received Callus's patronage. But the disappearances began before I ever stepped foot in Fontaine.
I do apologize, Demoiselle. This was my mistake.
No, it's not.
Is there anything else you'd like to say? Would you like to check the date of my first business license against the first known case of the serial disappearances? You can also take a look at my border entry records, or ask my friends and family when I left Snezhnaya for the first time. Could those records and testimonies do something to appease the unspeakable anguish in your heart?
Seems like she got the wrong guy.
At this rate, Navia will be convicted for falsely accusing him.
I think you've done a superb job of dissecting your father's feet, but aren't you going against all of his wishes and expectations? He wished for you to become more rational, collected, and conscientious once you've learned to be more considerate of others' feelings and to stop rushing headlong into things. You'd have...
This isn't just about me. And the biggest difference between me and the rest of the victims is that I still have the ability to search for the truth. The people whose families were destroyed by synth abuse, the people who lost their loved ones, many people's images are flashing before my eyes. And whose image? Is it a man named... Oh, so you do know...
I'm merely surprised you'd suddenly...
I was waiting for you to say...
Let me weave you a verse. Embrace the ice!
go up, but Paimon doesn't see a way. Let's take a look around. Maybe we'll find a hidden mechanism that'll show us the way up. The water level is rising! Now we can swim to the top! But this is still a ways away from where we need to go.
Rain outlines your fate. Rain cutter.
Useless. Disappear. Here. Worthless! Here! Here! Worthless! Worthless! Boring!
Whirling snow! Huh? No, my sword!
Now the path is clear! Let's go!
Rain outlines your fate. Let me weave you a verse. My apologies. Kamisato art. Sumetsu. Ha! 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 Ha!
Scatter!
Though, as expected, the mastermind isn't here. That's right. What's all this? Pink accessories, a hair tie, a necklace, even a makeup box. Oh, Paimon sees it too, but why are all these cute things? Huh? You mean the girls from... and all the boxes of things? They snake? Whoa! There's so much synth here! And so many bottles of ingredients that probably just contain the waters of the primordial sea. Mixing in progress. Ready? Whoa! There's even fruit-flavored synth? Yep, it's super obvious. What's this over here? Looks like some kind. Experiment number 16 aims to verify Jacob Ingold's research conclusions on the primordial sea and use his theory as a foundation to achieve a breakthrough. The experiment was a failure. No individual managed to resurface from the water from the primordial sea. Female specimens 22. Sorry, Traveler. Paimon will try her best. How can someone write something that terrible and you read the rest? Paimon's too scared to keep going. So that's why he did... Wait, did he really think he'd be able to find a way just by dissolving people over and over? That's just insane! Huh? Isn't that the name you heard by the fountain? Paimon thought he was an eyewitness in the serial disappearances case. You mean Vache is the one who did all of these... experiments? So that's it! Vache was no, that's not it either! If that's the case, why would he want people... In any case... And it's full of water! That means this is where they make all the synth. If you dilute it with normal water, you'll get synth. But the pure Paimon will take notes on this incriminating... Let's see what's written here. Callus. Navia's father. Oh, this seems to be an investigation report on him. Yep, it's about finding someone to assassinate Jacques, and this should prove the existence of the third person, right? We still have not determined the exact content of the key information Callus has passed on to certain members of his organ. The old dog's a real menace to deal with. Even if he abides by the promise he's made to us, he can act whenever he wants to make our lives miserable. I concur. Let's send someone to... Oh, seems like we've got a bunch of correspondence between the higher-ups. We've looked at almost everything. Yeah, we haven't found anything that... No wonder even Neuvillette wasn't that way. Even if we bring all this back to the opera. Sure thing. You take that side and Paimon will take this side. Check everything carefully. We'll find something for sure. Nothing at all. And Paimon lover's name? Then you found her diary. Let's see. Aw, it's just a normal diary chronicling their love story. She was so sweet, too. Oh, Paimon feels even worse for her now. So many! A whole page's worth! But they're all crossed. The final name she decided, Marcel. Wait, but Marcel's pretty old. Has this case been going on for so long that he's Vacher and Vinier's grown son? Hey! Paimon still hasn't figured it out yet.
And whose image do you... Is it a man named... Oh, so you do know that name.
I'm merely surprised you'd suddenly say the name of someone I've
I was waiting for...
Navia! We're back!
As expected of my partner.
Just how often do you intend to
It's all right, Monsieur Nervalette. Given their confidence...
But the truth of it, Marcel, is that you've always been Vacher.
Huh?
We've investigated your lair, and we already know after your lover, Vinier, was dissolved, you kept abducting young women to experiment on the hopes of bringing her back to you. You even created Marcel as a new identity, and destroyed all records of your past as Vacher.
So that's it. Even the villains in opera performance, and with that, Marcel's motive has now been established.
This information regarding your past also dismantles your prior well, Marcel. You fixated your gaze on the lover that passed away, instead of paying attention to the living people around you. So, you never noticed how we changed, or how...
You also never understood Boss's real
Or our determination to see things through.
You're determined.
Mr. Marcel, please speak up now if you would like to defend yourself. Otherwise, the trial will move on to the next stage.
Do you think? Do you pay attention to you? What for? Have you ever paid attention to me? Ever empathized with my pain? Ever known how it feels to watch the love of your life dissolve right in front of your eyes? No one helped me. No one even believed me. All those decades ago, even the officers from the Maison Gardiennage were laughing at me. They said there's no way a human being can turn into water. So I must have gone mad from grief. Vinier's death was brushed away. Well, now you know, don't you? Ha! Well, you only have yourselves to blame. You set up this ornate opera house in pursuit of your so-called justice, your beloved drama, while turning a blind eye to the suffering of the Vinier is dead. We promised each other that we would always be together, wherever she goes. But I'm not from this blasted place, so I can't be dissolved. No.
Hey, is that water from the primordial sea that he's drinking?
I can't dissolve. Do you all see? I can't go. I can't follow. So I did all of that. And in the end, that accursed Callus still got... I spent my entire life living on pins and needles, only to get stabbed by his idiot...
The suspect is exhibiting signs of mental distress. Guards!
Don't touch me! Don't anybody come near me! Vinier, please, Vinier!
At this point, the verdict of this trial is clear. With Mr. Marcel's conviction...
Fine by me. I was in a bad mood, but after a
Traveler, please submit all the evidence. The man now known as Marcel was originally named Vacher. and worked as an adventurer with his partner and lover, Vignier. During an underwater expedition, Vignier accidentally came into contact with water from the primordial sea and was dissolved in front of Vacher as a result. Vacher learned of the primordial water's existence through the work of others and began to kidnap young women for research, with the goal of discovering a method to restore Vignier back to... To cover his tracks, he invented the new alias of Marcel and began to operate a business in Poisson. During the course of his research, Vacher discovered that a diluted concoction of water from the primordial sea can induce feelings of euphoria. However, as he accumulated wealth to fund his continued research and expanded the scope, he came into conflict with Spina di Rosula. After exchanging blows with Spina di Rosula for many years, Vacher decided to... Although the assassination did not go as Vacher expected, he was able to turn Callus into the murder suspect by dissolving the assassin. And just recently, Vacher attempted to frame Linny as the culprit of the serial disappearances case, using a similar method. However, his attempt to frame Linny failed, and the power of water from the primordial sea became public knowledge. This case also thus concludes the enigmatic history of the serial disappearance. The Oratrice will now deliver the final verdict regarding... According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal, guilty.
Guards! Take Vacher away.
Good. It's what he...
With that, the serial disappearances case is over now.
We really just witnessed history. Who would have thought the truth?
We helped Navia bring the bad guy to justice! He's hurt so many innocent people and now he's finally... Huh? Are you okay?
Demoiselle, you were...
The day our late boss had...
Yeah. See, Papa?
Well now, hasn't this been a most delicious piece of drama? The villain has been caught, justice has been served, since it's been such a great show, I'll just let the false accusations against me slide. Either way...
Please wait just one moment, Mr. Tartaglia.
What now? None of the...
According to court protocol, since this trial was initiated due to a charge against you, a verdict must also be made regarding the initial charge before...
Oh, come on. Is this really necessary? Haven't you already caught the real
Please respect the laws of Fontaine.
All right, but this sure is a lot of hassle. All I need to do is stand over...
Through evidence presented in the public trial that was just held, it has been established that the guilty party has been identified, and thus it is logical to... We now turn to the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse. According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse... Guilty.
What?
Hey! That's not funny! What's with this verdict? Is your justice...
Huh? This has never happened before. The Oratrice...
I mean, have you ever heard of an innocent Fatui Harbinger? Do you think the
But weren't the charges about the serial disappearances case? No matter what else he's guilty of, it shouldn't affect the verdict.
The judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal is by law. The guards, please...
So this is how justice is done in Fontaine. What a joke. You've got your rules. Well, I've got mine too!
I am sorry. If you have been wronged, we will find the truth. But the rules of the court must be upheld.
Hey, Monsieur Nouvelette, what's going on?
Apologies. This is also the first time I've encountered such a situation. However, according to the rules established at the conception of Fontaine's court system, the Oratrice... All I do is follow court procedure. As for why the Oratrice arrived at the conclusion it did, you should probably ask someone more knowledgeable than me.
Why are you... I don't know what happened.
What does Lady Farina mean by that?
She says she has no idea either, but...
Yeah, so are the verdicts reliable or not? Can results like...
My dearest, don't tell me. You thought
But the way she looked just now, it was pretty obvious.
However, given the state of things, I shall give you an explanation. Everything that just and... Of course, for every performance, if you thought Child had nothing to do with the serial disappearances case, in everything he's done, not all shall be revealed. Now, having said that...
So she chose...
So you're saying we shouldn't put much stock into what she just said?
She probably just put on that performance to save face. As for the truth, it's unlikely that... However, please be assured that I will continue...
All right. Even though we feel pretty badly for him, after all, he's done
Hey, what are you doing? Quick, stop him!
Traveler! Hey! Traveler!
Marcel! What are you doing over here?
Stop resisting arrest! Cease, or we'll add another charge to the list.
No, wait! I just want to ask the Traveler something. I'm not looking to run away. Please, just let me ask this one small thing.
Go on.
Thank you. I was being led away when I finally realized something. Where did you first hear the name Vacher? I erased all records of that name. So...
Are you still trying to prove your innocence? Give it up, you've...
Really? You did? You're sure? You met her? But how could the Fountain of Lucine? Then... Please give me a chance.
What? Give an inch and you want to take...
Paimon agrees. Why should...
This request, is it...
Of course! Wait, no.
Humans. Will they betray the instinct? Very well.
Your Honor.
I will go with him. You do...
Thank you. Is this the place? You said she's here, but what do I need to do to see her?
Yeah, and even Paimon could hear her after drinking that thing. Didn't you...
Vacher!
Ah!
Yes, that's it. So you heard—
Vignere, it's me!
Vache?
I'm here! I'm here! Where are you?
Hey, wait!
Vignere, is that you?
Vache? Why did you... You look a...
It's been more than 20 years. All this time. Only the thought of bringing you back. I must be dreaming. Who would have thought I'd get the chance to... Vignere, you are my everything. I really don't know how I could live without you.
But Vache, if you ask me, this world would be better off without you. If not for you, I would have finished my law degree and probably become a top-tier attorney one day. If not for you, I would have continued to pursue my love of the arts, and my works would have been displayed in the Palais Mermonia itself. If not for you, I would at least have been able to take care of my mother. And she would not have grown old and died alone, with nothing but the tears on her cheeks. It's all because of your selfishness, Vache. It's all because of you.
You... Wait, you are not Vignere. Who are you?
You're right. I am not Vignere. I am the sacrifice. Every woman who died by your hand, as our bodies dissolved, our consciousnesses flowed back to our thoughts circulated endlessly within the primordial sea, and we were no longer individuals, but we became... I'm Cressy. I'm Lemonade. I'm Azine. The only one I am not is...
Why? But...
She doesn't want to see you anymore. Every tendril of her consciousness is avoid. This is what you get for your selfishness. Your selfishness robbed us of our lives and our futures. But did you ever consider whether she'd want to see you do the things that you did? If she would despise you for what you became? You are a liar, a heartless murderer, and a cowardly narcissist. The only thing you are not is Vignere's beloved. From the moment your first victim died and her consciousness merged with Vignere's,
no! Vignere!
You still don't understand. But on top of that, she also said that because she knew that if you did come here, we will show Vache. Vache? 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 Drown.
Finally, we have some time to do shopping. Gosh, it's really been a long time since...
Well met, partner.
Even this weather can't put a damper on the demoiselle's mood.
It's a pleasure to see you both again.
Oh, hey, Navia! It's...
Oh, now that I believe. I'm easy to work with and always bring home the bacon.
Sounds like you're really enjoying life these days, Navia. What have you been busy with since the trial?
It's just been one thing after the other. I've been making non-stop trips between Poisson and the court since then. Everyone from Spina di Rosula organized a memorial for my father. We never held a memorial when he first died. Since this time, though, everyone in Poisson, and even many people from the court, all attend.
So his name's definitely been...
It's been the dearest...
That blast... Oh, by the way, I ran into Charlotte just... well, maybe it'd be more accurate to say I knew she would be there, and there was no way she'd just let me go.
Huh? So you know Charlotte too? The Charlotte? Journalist from the Steambird?
Yeah, way back when I first became the president of the Spina di Rosula, she was all over me. Wouldn't take no for an answer. I believe the story was called The True Heart of Darkness. To be fair, though, it was a really flattering feature. So, we've been on pretty good terms ever since. She was trying to lean on our friendship to get me to do an exclusive piece on the serial disappearances case.
Oh yeah, she told us about that. She's always been super interested in that case, so now her wish has finally come true too.
Anyway, I told her to make sure that when she writes about you guys entering the opera house with the critical evidence, that you both sound really cool.
Now that's another thing to look forward to. We trust Charlotte's skills with a pen for sure.
Oh, and in other news, I also took Clarand out for a meal.
Oh, are you two on better terms now?
While you were investigating Vache's headquarters, Clarand gave testimony. It was thanks to her that we were able to turn the tide. I wanted to thank her.
Oh, that's great. Paimon also thought Clarand wasn't actually a bad person. It's always good to have more friends.
Anyway, now that the case has finally been solved, perhaps it will slowly begin to fade from the public consciousness. Oh, actually, there's still one last thing I need to do.
What is it?
I should pay a visit to my father's grave. And on top of that, just...
Miss Navia.
Indeed.
Sure thing.
And in that case, everyone, let's be off. Considering the recent weather, we'll be lucky if we can reach Poisson before dark.
Yeah, you're right. It's been raining non-stop for a few days now. This is where...
Huh? Isn't that Nervalette? Why would the Chief Justice be here? Huh?
My apologies. I should have asked before coming to pay my respects.
Don't say that.
Sorry about that.
Oh, I was trying to say there's no need for you to apologize. I wanted to show my father how much I've grown. But still, I doubt I've grown to the point that even the Chief Justice would feel compelled to apologize to me over and over.
In that case, I will stop apologizing for now.
You really could use some pointers on understanding human emotions in any case.
Well, ever since that day, I've been turned. There was once a time when I didn't want to believe that there could be anything more important. Oh, rather than that, it's probably more truthful to say I didn't believe humans were capable of resisting the most basic instinct of living things. That they could rebel against their own nature, or consider certain things to be more important than their own lives. Which is also why I didn't stop your father from beginning that fateful duel. I believed that a truly innocent man would never throw away his life like that. That there was nothing, should have been nothing more important than one's own continued survival. But Mr. Callis proved me utterly and decisively wrong. If not for his sacrifice, the serial disappearances case would have remained unsolved to this day. Mr. Callis made the choice he did for his daughter, for his associates, and in the end, from a certain perspective, one could say that he did it all for the sake of justice. A justice that's higher than... So, you asked me why I came here. I just wanted to say my apologies to Mr. Callis. This regret has filled me with a sadness that has haunted me for days. That high and mighty chair in the opera Epiclese indeed insulates one from many important things. Spina di Rosula, thank you so much for your hard work and perseverance.
I'm sorry for being mad at you before. So, you're actually one of those types that's cold on the outside, but...
Sorry about that. Self-expression is not one of my strong suits.
Didn't I just say?
Ah, so Navia, let's not disturb. Paimon's never paid Huh? Oh, Paimon, oh no. Paimon, anyway, Nervalette is still standing around there. It's not often that we can catch him.
Oh, it's you two. Did Miss Navia invite you to come pay your respects?
Mm-hmm. We ran into Navia on the streets today, so...
I see.
Well, it's pretty hard to run into...
Please feel free. Though outsiders, you helped us solve one of the greatest mysteries in Fontaine, and it would be my...
So, at court, the bad guys referred to that special water as water from the primordial sea.
Truthfully, that name is already quite accurate. I can only surmise that Vacher and his ilk only learned of its nature and existence after There used to be a special sea on the surface of this planet. The nature of its seawater was rather different from that of the... Most of Tevat's life forms were first born in that special sea. You could...
Huh. So it really was where everything began. It makes sense.
But today, the primordial sea no longer exists. What Vacher discovered must have been some kind of special case.
Huh. So that's how it is. Oh, you really know everything, Monsieur Nervalette. But if that's the case, then why would people, at least people from Fontaine, dissolve in that kind of water?
Indeed. Why would the primordial sea, which was known to engender and nurture life, suddenly reverse itself into... To be frank, that also doesn't match my understanding of this world and its laws. There must still be some unknown secrets around the people of this land. Is there anything else you... That the sea levels will rise and everyone will be dissolved in water, leaving Farina crying alone on her throne, but the sins of the people will be finally washed away for good. Does that appropriately summarize the version you've heard?
That's right! It was Linny that told us back then. And that about covers all the main points.
Yes, up to the present, I think we reached a point where we have no... Rumors have it that this prophecy is rooted in the last words the former Hydro Archon left to the world before...
A prophecy? Of the former Hydro Archon?
Two parts of the prophecy have already proven correct. The rising sea levels and the ability of the people of Fontaine to be dissolved. We should be more vigilant and stay on the watch for further signs. Speaking of the prophecy, Farina has also always taken it quite seriously. Indeed, if the rumors were true, then perhaps this prophecy is the conundrum left to Farina by her predecessor.
But with Farina being the way she is...
Is there anything else you'd like to... My apologies. My investigation has... However, I still believe the judgment of the oratory...
But you also...
For many years, I have been quite aware that the oratrice does not simply mechanically repeat the verdict that I give on each case. As a divinely created mechanism, the people's unified faith in the concept of justice is Not only can it produce the incredible power of indemnitium, but it likely also possesses other traits, such as self-awareness. Which is all to say, I have been prepared for a situation like this.
So when Linny told us that he heard a human voice...
I was not aware such a thing had occurred. Perhaps that could serve to prove my conjecture. I will add... In any case, I am inclined to believe that the oratrice does have a methodology all its own. We just do not have enough info... Based on Farina's reaction, I doubt even she had any idea what was going on. She managed to bluff her way through it. While we do intend to get to the bottom of this, for now, we regret to say that if we did incorrectly convict him of crimes he did not commit, we will most certainly compensate him to the fullest...
If you ask Paimon, the only compensation he'll want is a no-holds-barred fight with you.
Is there anything else? Your sibling, another blonde-haired traveler. If she ever stepped foot in Fontaine, I'm sure she followed our laws to the letter and had no reason to appear on the stage of the opera epic. Is there anything else? Very well. It was my honor to provide you with what answers I could. I very much enjoyed conversing with you. It will soon be time for me to leave this blissful tranquility behind and return to Palais Memoria.
You really are super busy, Monsieur Neuvillette. Paimon thought you only came here to pay your respects today because you had the day off.
Crime and villainy do not have the day off, and so justice must work around the clock as well. This is merely the nature of a justice's work.
All right. You've got a point. Huh? Paimon just noticed that the rain has stopped.